everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Jurassic News! And boy, do we have a lot of news to get through, so let's just get into it, shall we? So first up, we had the not-so-Super Bowl TV spot, which ended up basically just being, the trailer. I think we got 2 new shots. We got Scarlett Johansson's character sort of going through this underground bit before she shoots her gun, or maybe it's after she shoots her gun. And then we get a little bit of an extended shot of the Spinosaur eating a guy, I'm assuming. Maybe it bites it, throws him back, and then the kid falls out of the boat. Either way, there's really not much to write home about. But we have some amazing news. If you're a fan of just Jurassic in general, if you recognize this landscape, well, you're a fan of the OG Jurassic Park. This was iconic. It was in so many different things, and this was posted by Jurassic Collects back in 2023, who has an original scan of that forest line, the tree line, and you may have seen it. It was everywhere. It was in the making of books. It was in all of the merchandise, but it is finally, after all these years, been tracked down, and you yourself can even purchase a license to use it. User Fumandunian on Twitter responded to that Jurassic Collectibles post 2 years later almost, saying that they had managed to track it down, and as you can see, it's pretty much the same. And I think this is just a piece of Jurassic history that needs to be covered. This is something that's so cool. It's taken so many years to track down. And as you can see, this image here of a tiny little island and the trees of the actual promotional image that's been used everywhere are one-to-one. And you can see certain places where they've obviously taken other trees, moved them, placed them somewhere else. And I don't know. I just think this is so cool, and it needs its hour in the spotlight, or maybe a minute. An hour is a bit long to spend on it, but that isn't the only island we actually managed to find. The ones in the background of the Jurassic Park scene. It turned out to be the island chain in Fuji, I think it is. As you can see, the thing's exactly the same. The beach line, the coastline. Quite an interesting find, I thought, but we'll get on to other things. We have games coming this year. I mean, I feel like I say it all the time. It's the dinosaur year this year. This year is going to be the dinosaur year. We've got Jurassic World Rebirth, the movie coming out, and we've got 3 games. 2 of them we know of so far, Jurassic World Evolution 3. It's all but been confirmed.
Moving on to the third Jurassic World game, we are absolutely determined to make this our most ambitious Jurassic game yet.
Jurassic Park Survival sees you as a common with the scientist's name, but basically after the events of Jurassic Park, you're left on the island and you've got to survive. So it's basically, if you like Jurassic Park and you're into all of the old nostalgia stuff, you're going to be a fan of that one. And then an unannounced game. So really not too sure what that one is, but I wanted to float something out there, right? Because you look at Jurassic World Evolution 3, it's the 3rd in the series of same park builders. Jurassic Park Survival, a little bit different. A bit like, I imagine like Jurassic Park, the game, you remember from Telltale. And this 3rd one, I'm hoping, I've got my toes crossed for something like this. This was made by Patrick Coyan? I'm so sorry, I'm probably butchering your name here, but he has made all these old retro dinosaurs in the style. And this is the new Spinosaur he decided to have a crack at, and it just reminded me so much of the Lost World Jurassic Park. And this is not from the game, this is another render he's made, but look at it, look at the colors, look at the style. It just has so much character about it. And if you know me, this is one of my favorite Jurassic Park games. It's just a platformer, like go from left to right of the screen. It's amazing. I love it. It's a bit like Iggy's Egg Adventure. Remember when that came out? That was such a basic game, but it did numbers. It performed very well. And we just need something like this. We don't need the newest high definition thing at this point. We don't need the latest graphics. Just give something low poly and amazing looking. I think this guy deserves a shout out because the work they do is amazing. But let's get on to the meat and bones of today's video, the D-Rex. And I've thrown up my own version that my abomination.
Oh my goodness!
And then we've got some other ones. I couldn't find the artists for these. I think the middle one you can see at the bottom there. I don't know about the left one, but gives you some sense of scale of the creature, because I'm pretty sure that middle one is quite accurate. But if we're going to talk about the D-Rex, we need to talk about the elephants in the room. And I am one of those elephants. These aren't the only ones. There are other ones out there, but other theorists. But we all want to know what the D-Rex is, and we all speculate on the, its origins, where it came from. What does this mean for the franchise? And I think it's important to realize when we start discussing stuff, we have to get into the lore. And if I'm honest, I hate it. I absolutely hate the lore of Jurassic Park, because it is a convoluted mess. For instance, here we go. You got the Masrani site. You got all these videos citing things from the Masrani site, the back door, where you could find all these different things. I didn't even realize there was something from 1984, the first ever fertilization of an artificial ovum, something to do. It was in Japan, Tokyo. Apparently in the Jurassic lore. Is in Japan. And then all these other things, and they're from websites that either no longer exist, so you can't find them unless you're on the Jurassic Park wiki, I assume. And then Dino Tracker as well, which had loads of lore and stuff. The Jurassic Park 3 routers were brought back. That's gone now as well. So you've got like Site A, Site B, Site C, all this stuff, but in the end, we have to come to the conclusion, what's the point? What really is the point? Because if you remember when Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom came out, well, Jurassic World came out, this was the state of Isla Nublar. You had mainly the park in the middle, a nice lagoon, some little river systems there. But basically, the lagoon was landlocked, and there was no way you could see right there, the monorail and everything like that. And then comes around Fallen Kingdom. And what did they do? What did they do with Fallen Kingdom? No, well, as you can see, clearly it's the same shot, but they added a big barrier to the ocean so that the mosasaur could escape. And if all that retconning wasn't enough, what did we get in the end? Nout. Nothing. We got a scene of a mosasaur looking to attack a diver, though it was never reported on that somebody was killed in all of the extended lore. Never happened. Never saw a surfer die or anything like this or anything like that. And in the end, Dominion, the final film in the franchise for Jurassic World, even though this one's called Jurassic World Rebirth, the Dominion movie, we just get it like swimming next to a whale. Like, oh, they gotta live in harmony. And yet now, this new movie, Rebirth, we're saying they're all dead. So the final words of Dominion were, we have to coexist. We have to learn to coexist.
Coexist?
No, they all die and they end up on islands anyway. It's just insanity. So if you're going to take anything from this video, remember one thing. Nothing matters at this point. They can pretty much make up anything. For instance, this new island that we're supposed to be at the original factory. Is it? It could be. Whatever. They can say whatever they want to. I've lost all track of thought and insanity when it comes to the Jurassic Park lore. So, when it comes to this thing, I think it's important to take a step back from all the lore and just look at what we have for the new movie. Stop trying to tie it to the old stuff, because for all we know, it's like, is Sauna canon kind of in a way? I don't know. One website states it. I don't care. Anyway, let's have a look at something that's just newly popped up to do with the new movie. This is a new bad company. This, I think, is in Universal Orlando. Yes, it's a Jurassic Outpost posted this. And on top of it, we have, of course, the 3 dinosaurs you need, the land, sea, and air, is that it says Parker Genix. Pharmaceutical engineering. Ooh, this seems very interesting. We haven't heard about this. We've heard of InGen, we've heard of Biosyn. We've never heard of Parker Genix. Like, what? I guess it's like pathogenics, I assume. Play on words. But that seems very interesting. So, have we seen this before? Well, you remember that scene with the D's Nutsosaurus Rex? If you look at the bottom left, we sort of thought, or I thought anyway, that was InGen, because it ends with an EN, right? What if it's not? What if it's actually Parker Gen or something like that? It's exactly the same font. And the symbol that appears on this lab, whatever this door is that houses the D-Rex, that we find ourselves with the D-Rex, it's inverted. This Triforce, which is actually, I think, the Buddhist symbol. If I'm not mistaken, it's a Buddhist symbol or a Shinto symbol. I've seen it. I've seen the Triforce on temples here in Japan, but it's inverted and it's exactly the same. And why on earth do we have a land, sea, air in the symbol on a flashback scene? Really make too much sense. We've got a lot of speculation whether there's flashbacks, whether if this island's been here from the start, it must mean the D-Rex is 50 years old. We're forgetting all that. Forget all this, because I think we're starting to see the twist evolve. We could sort of piece it together. Again, it's all speculation. You know, maybe this is tied to the original, but hold on to your butts. So, we picture this. On an island, there was an engine facility. Where is it? I don't know. It's somewhere. Who cares? There was an engine facility, and it got left abandoned after the events of Jurassic Park and the Lost World and so forth. And then, something that I think is quite interesting, some opportunists came in and took over. Because why wouldn't they? It's an island, anyone can get on it. And that is something that was only sort of hinted upon in Lost World and Jurassic Park 3, like, you know, stay away from the island, you're breaking code, you know, with the Jurassic Park 3 scene. It was the Costa Rica authorities messaged the plane. But they didn't stop, because who's going to stop them? Who's going to track down these people on a dinosaur-infested island? Let's be honest. So, I think this explains the terrible cloning process. If these guys don't know what they're doing, or maybe they're not working with the originals, that explains why we have a two-headed raptor, why we have the D-Rex, because they're just, you know, trying things out. They have no idea. And it also explains why these facilities, even though it's on an old abandoned area, look somewhat new. Maybe they're either like a little successor chapter, you know, to InGen, almost like Warhammer reference, or, you know, they had something to do with, and they're bringing in their own stuff. Makes sense. I mean, everything was just left there, you know, if it was abandoned. But that means that at some point when they got there, something went wrong, and they had to leave, resulting in, obviously, the abandonment of all of the dinosaurs and creations that were on the island. But, you know, they want to get back. So, very similar to Jurassic Park 3, as I put the reference in. And I think this is the main dude for Parker Jennings, you know, the one who's sort of, you know, on the other side of the lab door while the D-Rex 8 is assistant, I assume. And obviously he wants people to help him get this DNA back, but he phrases it under a, you know, it's good for humanity, you know, rather than it just being, you know, these are worth lots of money. You know, I would say the Kirbys from Jurassic Park 3 had more of an incentive to save their son, whereas this guy's just money. You know, I think that's gonna be the twist, is, you know, he's gonna play these guys for fools, gonna lie about it, play dumb, until the end, when a final reveal where he steals all the DNA samples out of the case that Scarlett Johansson's been hiding, you know, carrying around with her the whole time, possibly, I think. So, it was an old engine facility taken over by opportunistics, you know, a band, something bad happened, then later on, they need to go back and retrieve all of the DNA. Because when you start getting into all this, oh, this was the original island, the dinosaurs here were too dangerous for Jurassic Park, this could be lies that he's fed to get these people involved. Because you're starting to retcon a lot of stuff. And it's just like, oh, but, you know, because when you just all of a sudden make a new island on the opposite side of South America, because it was really Costa Rica, no, we're on the other side where Barbados is, which is, you know, why would they make dinosaurs on that island, then transport them all the way to the other island that's supposed to be off the coast of Costa Rica? It doesn't really make too much sense. You're retconning a lot of stuff. I think we just need to focus on what this is going to be. At the end, this could all be a lie. You know, it could just be all InGenics. You know, Parkergenics, and, you know, maybe they were the original InGen. Who knows? And either way, he just wants his money back. He wants his investments, I assume. But with all that said, could this be the Bermuda Triangle explained? Maybe. If they're going to Barbados, possibly that's why everything goes missing in the Bermuda Triangle. This is where the mosasaur lives. It explains why all the ships and planes have disappeared. I know, we just have a little bit of fun, because that's just a theory. Because really, you can take anything and make a very stupid theory about it. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I just want to say, of course, we'll be back when there's more news. And if you want to theorize about the history of Jurassic, I'm not going to hold anything against you. I would love for somebody to just put it all in an easy-to-access place where it all makes sense. But in my own humble opinion, I think we've come too far, we've flown too close to the sun, we've asked too many questions, and now the answers are contradicting each other, and Universal can't even keep tabs on what it has and has not done, and we've just ended up with a spaghetti code of law. basically. But anyway, I just want to say thank you everybody for supporting this series, and I'm looking forward to this. We're going to get so many games, so many new toys. All this seems to be happening on a day-by-day basis. So exciting times. And if you've enjoyed this video, leave a like, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Oh, bye-bye.